Hey, it's James here with the Nick. You're watching Habs Tonight, and exciting news, rapid reaction. Nick Suzuki signs 8-year contract, $63 million. He's 22 years old, top line center for the Montreal Canadiens. And probably, I'm going to say it's a historic day, Nick. We got our guy. How are you feeling about this?
We finally have a number one C staying long term. How exciting is that? I mean, other teams are probably laughing at us that we're so excited, but when was the last time we signed a number one C long term with so much potential? Can't remember.
Yeah, and so you use the word potential, but I mean, this is a guy now that has performed admirably
Yeah.
at a very young age in 2 postseasons, basically leading a team as one of the key pieces of a cup run. And here we are now looking at multiple years of service for Nick Suzuki. But it's really important because I think that this is the leader. This is the guy that in the summer it became pretty obvious this is who the Montreal Canadiens were going to embody from a psychological perspective, right? So Shea Weber, he's getting a bit, we don't know if he's coming back. And then obviously Carey Price and his situation. He's a natural leader for this team. He's the right mindset. He's the right kind of guy for people to rally around. And I can't think of a more perfect setting for him to be in. And it almost makes me think of like Patrice Bergeron in Boston, like a guy that's just, he should be here forever if he continues to be on this track. So I share your excitement, and this is great.
He's absolutely reliable. And even Gallagher during his presser today had such kind words to say about him that he's been standing up when the team's been down. He's been, like you said, reliable, a great leader within the room, outside the room. We've seen it when he came on our show, just the type of humble gentleman that he is. So I share the excitement with him. And even his mom and dad, Rob and Amanda, on Twitter today, just congratulating him for finally getting a dream come true of signing a long-term contract in the NHL and with the Montreal Canadiens. So we're excited.
Yeah, we are. And obviously he's a friend of the show, and we're going to play a clip from the show a few weeks ago he did with us, because it leads me to, I got 3 questions today, which was, when did the negotiations actually start? So we don't really know. I'm going to play the clip, and then maybe we'll talk about what exactly we think happened here. But just watch the clip, and then we'll go right back to it.
Thanks for all the support throughout the whole run. I could feel all the energy from the city, and leaving and coming to the games. It was a ton of fun to see all the fans waiting for us outside when we entered the building and we're leaving. So I think we'll have another great year. The future is going to be really bright for this team, and hopefully I can be a part of that for a long time. So
hopefully I can be a part of that for a long time, which is,
you sure are.
So this was taped right after basically KK ended up going to Carolina, and we did talk a bit about that situation with him. Do you think he was already in negotiations with Berge before that had gone down, or do you think what had happened with KK basically precipitated that? They knew they were going to have cap space. They knew that this was going to be something they were going to throw, a lot of money at, and it was just full steam ahead. It was inevitable. What do you think?
I'm kind of two different opinions. So my first one would be, I think the negotiations might have started beforehand. Obviously, they knew it was a contract year. So do you want to sign this key player during the season and have his mind on a contract? In my opinion, no. You kind of want to sign him beforehand. But the whole offer sheet things with KK probably pushed them to do it faster and before the season. You don't want this situation happening to any player, yet alone your number one C, right? So I have a feeling it might have pushed them to do it a lot faster, and we're getting a great deal out of it. So it's hard to speculate. Obviously, we're not in the room with Burge here, but I'm happy he got it done before the season started. And I really hope that if that's the case and the KK situation pushed him to do it right away, then it worked out in our favor.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he raised a good point there. Well, 2 things. One is get it done, because now you see what's happening with Brady Tkachuk and the hesitancy there of that deal getting done. And I'm not sure this pegs, I think it's a different situation. I think Ottawa probably has to pay a slight premium to keep guys like that. But, it does certainly tell, or give the fans here a sense of like, okay, he wants to be here. He did say that, the fans welcoming him and saying all the things that they do for him, gave us what I would call the hometown discount. So perhaps there was a bit of an inclination here that, okay, look, it's $63 million. He's 22 years old. He's getting to sign a big contract nice and early in his career. Whatever happens, this is, I think, in a couple of years going to be team friendly. It is going to be, if not one of the largest contract on the books in the next year. So it ends up being a real contract to live up to. But in a couple of years, this could actually be pretty good.
If you're comparing to, I don't want to bring the KK negotiation back into this, pardon language, but shit show here. But he's signing for $6 million, and you're signing Nick Suzuki for 1.8 more. I mean, if you think about it, and then you're looking at, again, we were talking about Brady Tkachuk, who's asking for over $8 million. He's probably going to aim for a 9.5, and Nick Suzuki's got 80 points in his career so far, or whatever, and Brady Tkachuk's got 50. So, like you said, in the long run, the way Nick Suzuki's been performing and that he's going to perform, it's going to pay off for us. And I think this is the best deal that he could have signed. It's not too much. It's not too low. It's just perfect. Yeah. I'm fully happy with what we gave him, and no complaints on my end.
Yeah. And I mean, again, look at what the club has done to build equity. I mean, they've made some questionable moves here and there. We don't have to go into it all, but they've also done some great things, like with Jonathan Drouin, obviously Carey Price. And not that was ultimately their choice, but they've been very supportive of their athletes and what they have to do. And going back to what Dale says about the club, I mean, the loyalty. I was even watching some old clips with, George Larocque, and just the things that they say about what the club does for its players, that resonates clearly. The legacy you can build as a Montreal Canadian is unlike any other, basically, in hockey, save maybe the Toronto Maple Leafs. And it's just, I think he looks at that and he goes, when he sat on the bench, again, this was one of the revelations from his interview with us after losing to Tampa Bay, and going, I'm going to be back. You knew it was in this uniform. He was going to do it with this team. So to me, I can't.
Like you said, when he sat back on the bench to watch the other team celebrate winning the Stanley Cup, I think nobody knew about this, right? So everybody who heard that for the first time said, this kid is hungry and this kid wants it. I'm expecting a hell of a year from him. He's like, it's not a hot taker whatsoever. He's just so excited to be able to be with this organization. It's a world-class organization, like you said, from multiple players who have confirmed it. So just pay the kid and let him play. That's basically what we did.
Which he will do.
Just put him on the first line and go ahead.
Right. And this is obviously our trending topic, is the C next. We know that there's a vacancy right now, and always a lot of speculation about who could wear it next. Is it going to be Gallagher? Is it going to be someone else? I really think it just comes down to maybe no one wears it this season, and then next year they figure it out and he would be the top candidate. But any thoughts on that?
With no disrespect to Shea Weber, obviously Shea is going to wear the C until he formally retires from being a Montreal Canadian. So he's always going to be our captain. Even this year, if he's not on the ice, I'm sure he's going to be in touch with all the boys, and his presence is going to be felt in the locker room. But like you said, this year we're going to see who's going to stand up in the locker room without the presence of Carey Price also. The way Nick conducts himself outside of the ice is what makes me think that he's going to make a great captain one day, especially on the ice. He's the type of guy that stands up and shows up. But you can't help but think, who is the other candidates? In my head, I have a guy like Brendan Gallagher, who absolutely deserves the C for everything that he does for this organization on and off the ice. And like even a guy like Jeff Petrie, we've got tons of leadership in this room, but I can't help feeling at the back of my head, would a guy like Gallagher be way too humble and say, you know what, I'm okay with wearing an A and keeping my leadership and what I'm doing, give the C to a younger guy who has the potential of being such a great leader in the future, I'd be okay with that. Of course, my heart wants to see Brendan Gallagher with a C on his chest. It's been a long time coming, but I don't know.
I mean, if you're going to put the lineage of the captaincy through some like proper historical, reference, you would have to wear it for at least a couple of years for everything he's done and the leadership he's exuded. But in this case, it just might end up being that, you know what, this is just the way the cookie crumbled and it gets it. So we'll see what happens. But either way, we're excited. Tomorrow is the debut of the season. So it's going to be the Montreal Canadiens going and visiting the Toronto Maple Leafs here in Toronto. That's where I'm broadcasting from, unfortunately. And but I'm going to be in Montreal with you, Nick, this Saturday. We're going to be watching the game live in person for the first time in a long time. So really excited for that. If we have any fans watching, hit us up. We're going to be in town. We're going to be downtown. We're going to be at the Bell Center watching the game. So Can't wait to see Nick and the team, hopefully coming off 2 quick wins to start the season. What do you think?
Pretty excited that some of us get to meet for the first time in over 8 months. I believe Shane and Steffi will be joining us as well. So half the team will be there. If you're at the Bell Center, come say hello, come take photos, come chat with us. We're also going to be at McLean's Pub for supper before the game. Come and support McLean's Pub, local pub in Montreal that is absolutely the best. So please go support them if you can. Yes. So La Rue Peel. So no, like you said, I'm just excited to finally being back in an arena and full capacity. Jonathan Drouin being back. I'm hoping we get a Pricer cheer going on just to support him in any way that we can, and hopefully we can clinch our first win of the season at the Bell Center as well.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. We can't wait to be there and meet people and, talk about it after somehow. So rest assured, we're going to have a pregame tomorrow. We're going to try to get some post games going, continue to give you as best coverage as we can throughout the season. And I'll hopefully bring on Nick or some of the other players throughout the season to talk about how things are transpiring. So without further ado, we're going to see you hopefully soon. This is James Black. I'm with the Nick Lemire, and this has been Habs Tonight. Thanks again. And this was our Nick Suzuki Rapid Reaction.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.